Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville is almost here, but I have this theory I want to explore while recapping some highlights from past BTC Inc. conferences and Pacific Bitcoin festivals. Additionally, there's something very important to remember when attending these events or watching them from afar. Let's get it.
So there won't be any money for regulators. They're going to go out of business. And if we need a law changed, we can buy a law change. He who has the Bitcoin makes the rules. Am I right? Am I right? The history of finance and industry in this country and around the world is you buy the laws you need to get to where you need to go. All right.
It's Ser Ulric, and I was just taking in some conference memories. And you know, many Bitcoiners, they've been put off with recent big conferences because, well, the events just haven't evolved at the rate at which individual Bitcoiners are. Some would even argue they've regressed to be a worse product than they were in the past. And I can definitely sympathize with that viewpoint. But it's important to remember one thing. If you're deep down rabbit holes, a conference may not provide the satisfaction that self-research or even watching videos like this one does. Conferences are opportunities for newbies to acclimate, distant digital friends to connect, merchants to sell their crafts, and VCs to sling their deals. Everyone has the right to opt out. If I could paraphrase something I hear in church on Sunday, there is no perfect Bitcoin conference or event. And if there is, you better not go. You just may ruin it. But you know, I think Nashville is just going to be lit. And I hope to see you there. When you think about the month of July and everything that's happened, from Germany showing the world what they think about freedom money, to centralized networks shutting down all over the world affecting billions, to the biggest personality ever to speak at a Bitcoin conference being shot on live TV just weeks prior. All the while, the Bitcoin price is higher than it's ever been for any major North American conference. Now, despite all of that, I have this theory. Every time a major conference in the USA happens, the price dips. And I call it the Bitcoin conference curse. You don't believe? Okay. Let's take a trip down memory lane and you be the judge. I have highlights from 5 conferences that are a must-see. Some are bullish, some are strange, and others are cringe. Let's start off with one of those.
Before anybody else believed in me, I believed in myself. And I believe that it's going to be, another cryptocurrency that's going to be just as large as Bitcoin someday. It's okay. That's no different from Uber and Lyft. That's no problem. Everybody's entitled. Everybody's entitled to their. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I got to where I got to. I don't knock anyone, but I got to where I got to without no cryptocurrency. So without no cryptocurrency, I was able to make over $1 billion. And to this day, I'm still living a great life.
Now, Money Mayweather may have been my favorite boxer post-2000, but him being a paid shill for Ethereum Max and then finding his way onto the Bitcoin conference stage is kind of bearish on the apparent incentives of the people involved with the network. And the price action was shaking out lettuce hands, dropping 30% that month before recovering most of it in an elongated bear trap. If you sold, you probably didn't deserve the sats anyway. But 2021 wasn't all that bad considering this conference finale.
In El Salvador, we are trying to rescue this idea and start the design of a country for the future, using the best ingredients that makes us who we are, while using sensibility to find the best examples of ideas from history and around the world. I believe Bitcoin could be one of these ideas. That is why next week, I will send to Congress a bill that will make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador. In the short term, this will generate jobs and help provide financial inclusion to thousands outside the formal economy. And in the medium and long term, we hope that this small decision can help us push humanity.
Here's a highlight starting Bitcoin 2022 with what I guess they thought would be a fire intro.
Chatting with 3 legends right here. Let's get, how are you guys doing?
I didn't think there was going to be this many people here.
Yeah, we're good. We're excited to hear and talk about this.
A dirty little secret, I've never presented on stage before, so this was a big audience. Well, let's just get right into it. We so appreciate having you all here. But Bitcoin's been around for more than a decade. How and why do you think people came around to it within the past few years? And what role do influencers and icons like yourself play in this ascent?
Who are we starting with?
This is forever. This is open-ended.
My family, they're asking questions on it. You know, I'm still learning each and every day, so I can't sit there and give them like all the advice. But like you hear it talked about in our locker room. You know, the chatter, crypto, and all those things. So it's just I think it's something that's, like I said, it's gonna be around for a while, and you just kind of got to get with it.
Was there anybody in the locker room at halftime of the Super Bowl checking the price of Bitcoin?
I don't know the answer to that, but yeah, I don't know. I would hope not.
Someone in the live stream at the time said we may test 30K after this. Now, while it didn't go that low, Bitcoin did experience a 20% drop that month. I don't know, maybe people lost hope after watching that train wreck of an interview. But it leaves a good example for future events and conferences. Keynote speakers, they need to have a basic understanding of why the participants, the attendees, are there in the first place. But then there's the news desk, and with the right mix of people, it could be pretty fun.
Gentlemen, one of the things that we heard just now was the importance of whether or not Bitcoin as a medium of exchange actually matters versus a store of value. Zuby, we'll start with you. Where do you sit on this spectrum? Medium of exchange, store of value?
Why not both?
Love it.
It's both. Yeah, it's a currency. It's a form of money. It should be able to do both. I think with Bitcoin, a lot of the appeal is not having these limitations and barriers and people being forced to do things in certain ways. So however someone wants to use Bitcoin, that is up to them.
Awesome. Peter, same question to you.
Well, it can't be a store of value without being a medium of exchange. You have to be able to transfer value to actually store it. But I think what's going to happen is, for most of us now, it is a store of value, but the number of use cases for Bitcoin as a medium of exchange is growing as we continue to have physical cash demonized or removed, as we continue to have attacks on our use of cash or our use of money. People are going to find other ways to use money. So I think it is a store of value, but I think the use cases for Bitcoin as a medium of exchange will continue to grow.
Love that. I mean, look, we heard Jack Mahler's big announcement yesterday to expand the use cases for medium of exchange. Lynn Alden made a lot of comments about the importance of the decline of the petrodollar.
Interesting. Micahel Saylor completely ghosted Q's question about medium of exchange back in 2022. I think I should do a piece on that one next. I can't just leave that hanging. But give me some time. I can't just be pumping out daily bangers like Dante and Hurley. Let's put that on the shelf for right now, and let's go back to November of 22 when Swan co-founder Brady Swenson drops a powerful monologue.
The quality of the money directly affects the quality of the civilization. And when you have good money with integrity, you can have outcomes like this. And we've seen it many times throughout human history. In Rome, the denarius kept its value for 250 years, allowed the expansion of the most, to that point, largest, most influential empire in the world. The florin in the medieval Renaissance held its value for 300 years. And that happened because humans understood that if you inflate the money, you screw up the society, right?
Now, before the clip you saw, he also said we use money to communicate our wants and needs around the world. And he also said, quote, the quality of the money affects the quality of the civilization. Now, I've rehearsed this to you all before. Bitcoin is in this discovery phase in which it looks like you're simply gaining fiat wealth. But really, Bitcoin is discovering its own potential for the direct exchange of goods and services. Bitcoin is independent money and therefore is independent of the fiat system. It doesn't need its help. When you think about 21 million units, 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis, you can't help but wonder what the potential buying power is for each one in the future. It's a powerful message, but not powerful enough to prop up the near-term price. You see, the conference, it happened the same day as the FTX collapse. Bitcoin experienced a 32% dip to a 2-year low in price, only to recover slightly to close the month. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spoke at Bitcoin 2023 in Miami. Let's take a look.
And I had given a public speech to a large crowd in Italy about the dangers of digital currency, and particularly programmable currency that could be used by governments to enforce, to punish bad behavior in combination with surveillance systems and facial recognition systems that the government would know when you were doing something wrong and could change your credit card. And this is what's happening in China. So they would only purchase groceries within maybe a 5-minute walk of your home. And I said that hypothetically, and I think 6 weeks after I made that speech, I saw that very thing happen to the truckers in Ottawa.
Now, you would think after the FTX scandal, seeing 15-something K 6 months before, that there would be no way Bitcoin's price would continue down this cursed path. Well, that month, it opened at 29,300, dipped to 25,800, and finished the month at 27,200, one of the least bullish months in an overarching bullish year. Now, one note on this clip about demanding rights to free speech, assembly, or petitioning government. See, the beautiful thing about Bitcoin in a state of self-custody, you don't have to beg or demand to anyone to have access to your keys or to transact on the time chain. It truly is one of the few defendable bearer assets we have on this planet. Now, that's a powerful thing, and I would dare say a natural right in the internet age. Finally, we have Pacific Bitcoin in October 2023. And if you know your Bitcoin price history, you know it was an amazing month, gaining 28.5%. It would be the beginning of the bull market we find ourselves in now. I do think this curse I called out came to an end at that event. And from the looks of things, it will likely stay away, and we should experience a nice month-to-month return upon the end of this upcoming conference. PB23 had many great memories, so here's one from Swan CEO Corey Klippsten, and it dual counts as a teaser for my next video. I am Ser Ulric, like my father before me. Be sure to say hey when I'm in Nashville, okay? You can see me wearing this captain hat on Broadway.
I think it'll be, over time, a little bit more of a random walk, and there'll be like raging bull cycles and small bull cycles, and the idea that you would go, 35x between now getting through 2 more bull cycles before then still seems pretty reasonable. I'm not backing off that prediction. And with that, what's really cool is you only need probably like $500,000 per Bitcoin, so about half that to get to the point where you should see an explosion in the use of Bitcoin as medium of exchange, even in the Western world. So not just kind of edge use cases and niche markets and people attempting to kind of push adoption in local situations, but actually having a lot of people that want to start spending some Bitcoin because it's run up enough, their expectations of the future price appreciation, or the future appreciation in purchasing power, I should say. We're not going to be denominating things in fiat very long.